Hello, and welcome to Dolphin's Dive, the weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream hosted by Logic Dolphin. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. And with that, let's begin. We're playing Spirit Island. It's been like 4 weeks, I think, so I had 2 weeks off and then Sentinels. Yeah, so we're back to Spirit Island. Before, when we were playing Spirit Island, we were doing scenarios one by one. We did them all. They're all done. We beat all the scenarios. Now, I think we need to move on to adversaries. Well, not just adversaries, but dual adversaries. And I'm just going to do a 3-2 pattern for no reason other than I'm scared. I don't know. So, I don't really know how I want to go about doing this per se. Maybe I just want to do... Like, there's how many adversaries? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. 7 adversaries. I can select Russia twice. No, I cannot. 7 adversaries. But order matters. There's actually 42 distinct pairs. I don't think I want to do 42 weeks of this. So we'll figure something out. There's 21 distinct pairs. Soon to be 8. Oh boy, so it's 56 distinct pairs, 28 if order doesn't matter. Yeah, that's gonna take a while. I'm just gonna do this for a bit until I get bored, I guess. I don't know. And at some point, difficulty should ramp up, I guess. We should up the levels, or we should do scenarios with level 4 adversaries or something. Should, like, you know, keep broadening my Spirit Island skill set, but that takes effort, and so let's just ignore that. So we'll double check how dual adversaries works, but at the very least, all of these rules are in play. So the Kingdom of Brandenburg Prussia, escalation, which this one happens at stage 2, land rush. On each board with buildings, add a town to a land without towns. We have fast start. During setup on each board, add a town to land number 3. Surge of colonists. When making the invader deck, put one of the stage 3 cards between stage 1 and stage 2. And efficient. When making the invader deck, remove an additional stage 1 card. So the deck order is 1-1-3-2-2-2-2-3-3-3-3. But we also have Russia. Additional loss condition, hunters swarm the island. Track beasts destroyed by adversary rules. If that number ever exceeds the number of beasts on the island, the invaders win. Escalation on stage 3 is stalk the predators. On each board, add 2 explorers total among lands with beasts. If you can't, instead add 2 explorers among land with beasts on a different board. We have hunters seek shell and hide. During setup, on each board, add a beast and explorer to the highest numbered land without buildings. During play, explorers do +1 damage. When ravage adds blight to a land, including cascades, destroy beasts in that land. And a sense for impending disaster. The first time each action would destroy explorers. If possible, one of those explorers is instead pushed 1 fear when you do so. So no modifications to the invader deck here. Fear cards, I believe we just kind of add the total number of changes. So this one adds 1 to tier level 2. This one adds 1 to tier level 1 and tier level 2. So it should be 5, 4, 3 is the fear card distribution. I think. I don't know. We'll double check the rules in a bit. But Heart of the Wildfire, that's one of our spirits. Setup, put 3 presents and 2 blight on your starting board in the highest numbered sands. Special rules, Blazing Presence. After you add or remove presence during setup in the land it goes to, for each fire showing on your presence tracks, do 1 damage. If 2 fire or more are showing on your presence tracks, add 1 blight. Push all beasts in any number of Dahan. If you add multiple presents into a land at the same time, only do the effects above once. And Destructive Nature, blight added due to spirit effects such as powers, special rules, scenario-based rituals, etc. does not destroy your presence. This includes cascades. Our growth options: number 1, reclaim cards, gain a power card, gain 1 energy. Number 2, gain a power card, add a presence at range 3. Number 3, add a presence at range 1, gain 2 energy, and +1 more per fire showing. Starts at 0 energy per turn, 1 card play, goes up to 3 energy and 4 card plays, gets a total of 4 fires and 1 plant off of the elements. And our innate powers are Firestorm. At 1 plant, 1 damage per 2 fire you have. At 3 plant, instead 1 damage per fire you have. At 4 fire, 2 air, split this power's damage however desired between target land and any number of your lands with blight. And at 7 fire, in a land with blight where you have presence, push all Dahan, destroy all invaders and beasts, add a blight. And the Burned land regrows. At 4 fire, 1 plant, if target land is 2 blight or more, remove a blight. At 4 fire, 2 plant, instead remove a blight. And at 5 fire, 2 earth, 2 plant, remove another blight. And then our powers down here. Note that blight is kind of important, so removing all of them is not that great, as Firestorm doesn't work, Threatening Flames doesn't work. Although I don't think Threatening Flames is necessarily a super important power. It is a lot of fear though, but 0 energy, 2 fear I guess is important, but its secondary effect is not that important. Eyes watch from the trees, also known as whoop, whoop. Okay, setup. Put 2 presents on your starting board in the highest number jungle. Special rules, Dahan trust the Watchers. After one of your powers adds defend to a single land, gather up to 1 Dahan into that land. Growth options, number 1, reclaim cards, gain power card, gain 1 energy. Number 2, add a presence at range 2, add a presence at range 0. And number 3, gain a power card, add a presence at range 3, gain 1 energy. Starts at 1 energy, a 1 card play per turn, goes up to 4 and 4. Gets an air, a plant, and a moon. Our innate power, mischief, and sabotage. At 1 moon, 2 plant, 1 fear and defend 2. At 2 moon, 3 plant, instead 1 fear and defend 4. At 2 moon, 2 air, 4 plant, instead 3 moon and defend, or 3 fear and defend 6. And at 3 moon, 3 air, 5 plant, instead 5 fear and defend 12. And then we have these powers. Cool. So, without further ado, let us play. We've done all the reading that we need to do for Dolphin stuff. We're not going to read anymore. Oh, hello! How are you doing? Thank you, I needed the tutorial there. Cool. I forgot that I needed to re-enable that. Yes. We're not tutorializing anymore. I've successfully won the tutorial after 7 years of playing this game, so... isn't there an option to skip all tutorials or something? I don't know. Whatever. If I go to main menu, is there an option for that? Am I blind? I'm an expert. Yes. Very expert. There's no option, just a few pop-ups are one time only. Okay. Well, I'll just deal with the pop-ups, I guess. Right. Wetlands build. Bear in mind that explorers deal 2 damage. And now that we're here, let's learn how to play this game. Just want to double check the double adversary rules. Wherever that appears. Combining 2 adversaries. With Jagged Earth, you can combine 2 adversaries for a hybrid challenge incorporating aspects of both. This can be fun for play variety and is useful for experienced players wanting to only use the lower levels of a new adversary. You can combine it with a rules-light challenge like Brandenburg Prussia to make up for the lower difficulty. After choosing the first leading adversary, you can choose a supporting adversary and its level to the right. The rule changes for both adversaries will be in effect during the game. The leading adversary's escalation effect will apply normally. The supporting adversary will apply its escalation effect on all Stage 3 invader cards. If the escalation is specific to a terrain, as with France and Sweden, one of the terrains is chosen randomly. The combined difficulty of 2 adversaries is calculated as the higher of the 2 difficulties, plus 62.5% of the lower, rounded to the nearest whole number, because that is a super important calculation. Yeah, and I think there's like certain rules about fear card distribution and how the invader deck is set up. I'm not sure where that would be. Aha! Each tier level in the fear deck uses 3 fear cards to the base, plus the extra cards added or subtracted by each adversary. So if we're combining 3-4-3 with 4-4-4, we'll have a 4-5-4 fear deck. If both adversaries modify the invader deck, first all the instructions on the supporting adversary are applied in order, and then all the instructions on the leading adversary are applied in order. Okay, so it's backwards. Impossible instructions are skipped. If an instruction is ambiguous about which card to remove, the topmost applicable card is removed. If an instruction is ambiguous about which card to move, the bottommost applicable card is moved. And Brandenburg Prussia's level 2 effect is treated as move the bottommost stage 3 card just above the bottommost stage 1 card. Playing versus France level 2 or higher, the town limit is increased by 1 per starting board for each level of the other adversary being played. When playing versus Scotland, if the other adversary's setup instructions would add a city to a coastal land other than land number 2, instead the city is added to an adjacent inland land. Okay. So since there was no modifications to the invader deck on the supporting adversary, we'll just do the leading one. Can we just say bottommost more times? That's probably the bottommost thing I need to say right now. Yeah, so the stage 3 card is put beneath the bottommost stage 1 card. Aha. Aha. Okay, that's what the bottommost of that text said. So, yeah. So, normally we would be able to prevent a build, but it's kind of annoying because they're actually building in lands that they started with an extra explorer in. That's rude. And when I put this presence in here, I'll only push that explorer, which is annoying, but I guess you can go into F8 and then be terrorized in more than one way. Excuse me. The F7 Ravage is kind of important, as if it goes off, a beast will die. Is it per blight, or when Ravage adds blight to a land, destroy one beast in that land? Okay. So I kind of want to deal with this, of course. We cannot put blight in that land this turn, which is annoying. I also don't have that much energy. So like if I want to play Flash Fires, also known as Flash Fries, I don't have the energy to play it. Not that 1 damage is super important, but I can't. I could let the build go off and destroy the town, except that Explorer deals 2 damage. Which is rude. We do have +1 damage with damage dealing powers, but our damage dealing power Firestorm only targets a land with Blight, which is also annoying. Well, since my first presence is always a fire, I think my growth option is number 3 to get that +1 energy, or, well, +3 energy. Going up card plays track, because who cares about energy on Fire Puppy? This presence is range 1. So, like, if I don't put this in F7, what am I doing? Ah, thank you. You can go into F8. And we push all beasts, which means we don't have to worry about this Ravage anymore. Aha! There we go. We solved it. Take that, Russia. Okay. Not sure yet what I want to play. Asphyxiating smokes to destroy the town. Flash fires, well, it's gonna have to be slow, so that's not that super helpful. So it might just be flash fires. Threatening flames to push out of F8 isn't that helpful either, so it's probably asphyxiating smoke, but let's wait and see what we're gonna do here. So my defends gather Dahan. Explorers deal +1 damage, so obviously, like, if I want to defend C5 next turn, this would have an explorer in a town, I have to defend 3. So I can't just use my Mischief and Manage to solve that, or Mischief Managed, whoops. Mischief and Sabotage to solve that. But we could Mysterious Abductions to push that explorer out. We could Boon of Watchful Guarding and defend in my own land. That's a way of solving it. Range 1 jungle. We could gather Dahan. Don't really need to. We could push 2 explorers towns. That is certainly an option, but that's an expensive one. can get the 2 energy with 2 presence. We can gain an energy and only add 1 presence. We don't really need the defend for this turn, so it's okay to have only 1 card play this turn. Unless we need to, like, double up on things, but... I do think Mysterious Abductions probably is the better option for C5. We cannot do Mysterious Abductions and Eerie Noises and Moving Trees, so we cannot push 2 things out of C8 as well. This also has a beast in it, so it's also kind of important to deal with that land. C5 is blighted, so it's important to deal with that land. F3 has a Dahan, so it's important to deal with that land. F7 doesn't have beasts in there anymore, so I could just go off. Who cares? I am thinking we're gonna be digging for a power card, though. We're looking for moon and plant primarily. This is just like perfect elements. And it adds a wilds. That's wild. Except it doesn't add it to a wetlands. So that pushes the Explorer out of C5 with nothing extra. It doesn't generate a fear, but it's also not range 0, so maybe it's slightly better. But it still doesn't solve the C8 conundrum. If this builds and I have to defend, it would have to be defend 6, which we... I guess I could pay an energy to defend 8. Shadows of the Burning Forest has the same elements as Mysterious Abductions, but it doesn't move anything out of this wetlands. So I'm just going to click Disorienting Landscape and you can't stop me. His presence is range 3. I guess I could play both of these cards, push an Explorer out of C8, push an Explorer out of C5, and then I only have to defend 4 in C8. Which... can't exactly do with Mischief and Sabotage, so it is going to have to be with Boon of Watchful Guarding. So let's grow in here. Play these 2 cards. We get a defend. I could play more power cards. Yes. Alright, so we're stopping this build. We're going to need to do more in C8. And then these are just question marks. But probably Asphyxiating Smoke for F7 was the best bet for now. We get Firestorm. So we deal 1 damage. Big whoop. Has to target F8. This Explorer would just be pushed out. I'm just gonna assert dominance. I want to kind of leave it in F8 for now. So I can always deal damage there whenever I need to. Range 0 goes here. And you can go into that land, I guess. And then, why am I playing Boon of Watchful Guarding? Here's Sir John's like, read the card. That's not what you wanted to play. You wanted to play this. Okay, try this again. This. Assert Dominance. And then Mysterious Abductions. And then Disorienting Landscape. This is not Russia 3, so we could group Explorers up so that we could destroy all but 1 later. And then we can use this to gather a Dahan. Don't want fear for pushing Explorer. Oh. Because I generate a fear when I push an Explorer. True. Is that worth losing this Explorer in my blighted land? I'm gonna say no. Screw you. Range 1. That's not that far. It has to be open land with invaders as well. I defend this land. But I'm not gonna gather that Dahan. Okay. Jungle. And then we asphyxiate the smoke. Okay. So, ravage, ravage, ravage. Build, 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 build. I could play 2 cards. These 2 cards aren't really the most exciting cards, honestly. I don't have another air for flash fires. I also don't have the energy for flash fires, and I can't solve both problems. I could put a presence in F7 to kill this explorer, except it pushes, but details. If I dig for a power card, I'd be playing that and one of these cards. Could do Threatening Flames. Now that I didn't push this explorer out, I'm going to feel foolish for doing Threatening Flames and deciding I don't want to generate a fear from the previous turn. Also, it's a stage 3 card coming up, which means we're actually getting a Russia escalation before we get a Brandenburg-Prussia escalation. No Prussia. Let's look at a power card. I don't want to play Flash Fires. We would like Fire or Plant. And all of these cards have either Fire or Plant, but not both. Okay. Okay. Do not build in target land? I mean, it would stop like a build in F5, but... Or... Oh yeah, only F5, or... Oh, there's no Dahan either. But that's not really like... That nice is that Explorer's still going to deal 2 damage, and I'm still going to have to deal with it somehow. Plant is kind of nice. It triggers Burned Land Regrows more commonly. It allows Firestorm to trigger more frequently. Tempted to click Gift of Power. That said, if I'm playing one of these cards, I already have a plant. So if I were to click a fire card, I guess it's not going to make this any better, as I'll only have 3 fire. But I could take Gift of Power, use it on myself, and then gain energy next turn. I just work here, man. Get rid of that guy. I guess. We need to play Boon of Watchful Guarding and C8 for this to not kill a beast. This needs defend 7, or defend 6 rather. Can I get that this turn? The answer might surprise you. No. We could get another power card. Maybe we get a defend power. Yes. Interesting, as we can defend C8 with Carapace Land, and then defend F3 with Boon of Watchful Guarding. Is there any reason not to do that? This has plant. This has moon. Isolating target land's not going to be super nice. So let's just take care of this land. And grow into F3 so I can target that. And then we defend this, and then that's defended, and that's defended, and everyone's happy. Except for John, because I'm forgetting something probably. I could actually have to have 2 air, or 2 earth. I can actually defend others, but... defend 4 here, gather a Dahan. Defend 6 there. There's no Dahan to gather. That's unfortunate. But yeah, that is 1 damage. That's not gonna blight the land. Then we do this. This only pushes 1 town per tier level. Oh, okay. And then I do this, I guess, since I already pushed the town up. I guess I wanted that fear after all. I could have had 1 fear card and 3 fear this turn. Sprawl contained by the wilds. On each board, add wilds to a land without invaders. Build in the land with the most buildings, minimum 1. That's kind of awkward. Explorer's Blunder. On each board, destroy 2 explorers among lands with beasts. Lay ambushes. During Ravage, Dahan deal damage at the same time as invaders. Okay. So this is going to build. So now this is kind of doing too much damage. We do have a choice on this board. Not sure how I feel about those. Land without invaders. Let's put it into blighted land there. Blighted land here. Probably just use up the disease for this. Use destroy 2 explorers. This pushes out. This stops this build. I don't want this to blight. Go into the C7 party. Oh, I was wondering why this explorer died. I guess I could have actually done that slightly differently and had that explorer be pushed and this one die, but it's not. It doesn't matter at all. The fear card needs to save us now, I guess. Each player removes an explorer from a land with Dahan. It does save us. So currently this is blighting, but I can remove an explorer, which bypasses the Russia rule, as removal is different from destruction, and then stopping one of these builds seems nice. Probably the one on C1, as F5 is right next to Fire Puppy, which means that you're gonna fend for your life. Alright. Destruction. Destruction. Builds. Mountain wetland. And they add 2 explorers among lands with beasts. So they added it to Fire Puppy land. That was their first mistake. And then they're exploring wetlands, but they're building... Well, they already built the jungles, I guess. But let's put it C8, I guess. We could do 1-1, but that would be like the worst of both worlds. Used up a lot of our wilds. Gift of power on Fire Puppy. There is no plant here. Elusive ambushes for the fire, then? Bat Scout for the air. Air's kind of not as important. I'll take the fire, then. We could take Defend too, but it's not that strong against Russia. Okay. So Jungle Ravage, it's these lands. We do have elusive ambushes for F5 now, which is nice. Should have probably considered the actual cards and not just the elements, but I tend to focus on elements. We have mountain wetland builds there, mountain wetland builds here, and 2 of them are our explorer parties. No blight has been added yet, though, so that's cool. Like the party in C7 could blight, that's fine. The party in F6, if you get rid of the Dahan, that can blight. C3's tragic, but we'll worry about that. Putting my presence in also pushes any number of Dahan, so I could put a presence in F6 to push the Dahan out if so desired. But anyway. We said we're gonna click this for energy this turn. Do I want to play 3 cards and start a reclaim loop going? I guess I do have Gift of Power, so I can definitely go up the card place track. I could take the fire off the energy track and put Blight down and deal 2 damage with my presence. I think we'll hold off on that. Let's just play our hand. And this is defend 4. Push this guy into F8. Push the Dahan into F5. Play my hand. And we do get blight removal. We also have 2 damage off of Firestorm. Blight removal off of a land that has 2 blight or more, so that would be only F8, which is fine. That's why that land is 2 blight. Okay. Now for Hoot Hoot. If I click gain power card, I could also do 3 plays this turn, which also gets me +1 energy. So it feels like it's kind of better to do that every turn than to ever consider going up the energy track. That's kind of how I play most spirits, I'll be honest. If there's a growth option that gets me energy, I kind of ignore the energy track, but this is off a sacred site, right? So I would need to get a plant card to trigger the defend 4, which would be enough for F2. This is 5 damage. Defend 4 is enough. Would gather a Dahan as well. So that's probably reasonable. Although gathering only 1 Dahan is kind of sad, as it'd kind of be nice to kill the city instead of pushing the Explorer, but pushing the Explorer is 1 fear. And then I could push that Explorer into F5, which would then blight that land. So that's not necessarily wise, because elusive ambushes would not defend it enough. But yeah, let's look at powers. We're kind of going up card place track on both spirits. Let's do it. We get Elemental Boon. That's interesting. We do need a plant at least, so Here There Be Monsters is out. Like Calls Alike and the Shore Seas the Hatred does not get me moons. I don't need the moons this turn, nor do I really need that many moons, period, especially if I ever get to this moon, which goes off the energy track, which I'm not really doing. So, do I take Elemental Boon because it's the best card in the game? Doesn't really do much this turn. It lets Fire Puppy add an air to split this damage between target land and any number of lands with blight, which is like none of them. None of the other blighted lands have invaders either, so we don't need that air. The plant here doesn't do anything. The fire doesn't do anything. The plant here allows us to instead remove 1 blight, but that doesn't do anything either, as the only land we can target has 2 blight, so we can already remove that blight. But we could take Elemental Boon for down the road shenanigans, but there's not really much overlap beyond the plant, which it is kind of nice to have some plant for Fire Puppy, but I don't think it's really that vital. So, Like Calls the Like or Shore Seas with Hatred. Neither of these are gonna put more Dahan in F2, by the way. Nor is Elemental Boon gonna do more. We also have a Flame's Fury this turn, by the way, which is played for elements. Do any of these deal damage? The answer might surprise you. No. Target Spirit does gain 1 energy, though, but that's probably better on Fire Puppy. Flash Fires does deal damage. Firestorm deals damage. So all of these can be increased by 1 with each damage dealing power. Yeah, so we can do it multiple times. So 3 damage F8, 2 damage Flash Fires. I guess. I don't know. Okay. Like calls the lake, gathers explorer, but only if the land has explorers. Gathers town if land has towns. Gathers Dahan if land has Dahan. Gathers blight if land has blight. Yeah, that's too conditional. Too many words. Too many icons. Let's do Shore Seas with Hatred. Surely that's not a bad card. You need a Sacred Site here. And then that's defended. That's defended. And then we still have the builds going on. We're not doing anything for those builds. Okay. I guess we could have put an air on Fire Puppy to make this power fast. Which ultimately would just stop a build. I think it's okay. Flame's Fury. Damage. Ambushes. Defend. I guess I'll just take this one out. Maybe. I don't want the event to convert that singleton, but I can't stop that conversion. Do I want to leave it in the wetland so I can defend more easily there next turn? Maybe. Or not defend more easily, but retaliate better. Fortune Seekers. The next Explorer card matches all lands without buildings instead of the printed land type. Ignore any escalation on it. Haha. Grim Toll. On each board, choose a land with disease. In that land, 2 damage to invaders and 2 damage to Dahan. Tell the old stories. Each spear with at least 2 Dahan among its lands either reclaims 1 power card or regains a unique power it previously forgot. I don't know. This one's probably slightly better as I can defend 8. Avoid the Dahan. Skip all Explorer actions and lands with at least 2 Dahan. Okay. So you can't push either Explorer to either land, as that will escalate. Or not escalate, but blight. I could do this. Push this Explorer over there. And then we don't have any more damage, right? We don't have range for Flash Fires. You don't have any damage. You can actually go... Whoop, come on. You can actually go into F8. Oh, no, you can't. Oh, because I'm dealing damage first, and then this. Okay, yeah. You can go there safely now. And then Sands. Except it's not actually Sands, it's lands without... I don't know why it's not showing up on that. Matches all lands without buildings. And there's no escalation because we skipped that. They're still going to build in the Sands, but they explored every land that didn't have buildings. So that's 2 damage. Light removal. We do have this, although you don't really have range to coastal other than here. Kind of tempting to kill a city with flash fires, because how often can you do that? But we do have to worry about F3 and C8. And I only have so many defend cards. We could kill the city in C3 and push the town explorer out of it. F4 is ravaging now. It had nothing in there, now it does. Rude. We only have so many things. Let's do this. I feel like this is still really good. Push this out. I'm gonna let this land blight so that we have another land with blight for Fire Puppy. Gather 3 Dahan. It's not that many Dahan, but kind of would rather it be in that land. We don't have any Dahan we can gather into C8. I need to defend C8 and F3. This one's super important because it has beasts. This one, I would just rather deal with it. I would rather just deal with it. Yes. That can blight. I don't care. Let's use that icon for that. That can blight. We want that to blight. That can blight. That's okay. And then this is something we do need to solve. So an issue is that this would be a reclaim turn. But the reclaim isn't going to solve F4. If I put a presence down, we could put a presence in F4, but it's going to result in a cascade. I could reposition presence, but then that seems really foolish. We do potentially, if I reclaim with Eyes Watch, we get Carapace Land and Boon of Watchful Guarding. But then we don't have many moons. But we just need defend 2 for F4. In which case we could defend these 3 lands very easily. So I think that means we can just reclaim all here. Energy is at a premium still. There's no Fire Plant card. Would have been slightly nicer on Eyes Watch, but that's okay. After the next time invaders are destroyed, add a beasts, then damage per beasts. That's a way to add beasts to the board, which is really nice. It's a fire, which is nice. Weep for what is lost targets bladed lands, which is nice. Dark and Tangled Woods also just defends. We could just take that for F4. But let's take Blood Draws Predators so we can put more beasts on the board. Play that to get more powers, I guess. We're only dealing 1 damage with Firestorm right now, but that's okay, as we could Blood Draws Predators in there? Or is it better elsewhere? Kind of hard to target anything else. Especially anything else of value, but... It's not useful for this turn. Town destruction. F8's not gonna build. We're getting rid of that explorer unless we want to leave that explorer. But don't think we need to worry too much about that. Reclaim here. No plant cards. We could take the works. 1 fear, 1 damage to beasts. Add a Badlands, a beast, a disease, a strife, a wilds, and a blight. That's one of everything. Gift of constancy. It's not really good elements for Eyes Watch, and that's not a card I really want to play every turn either. Scour the land. Destroys all explorers. But the lands with explorers are also blighting. This adds more beasts, so like that avoids a lost condition, I guess. But we could click C6 with this though, because that's building, damage the explorer to push it, strife the town. And we don't have to worry about that ravage. We could also click C2 with this. Push the explorer, strife the city. Neither of those lands are actually that important, that said. This does give air. But this turn we're playing this one and this one to defend these. And then our innate to target F4, which means we need to play a moon card, which is everything except for Shore Seas with Hatred. Let's go ahead and use Dire Metamorphosis, I guess. Blight added due to powers does not destroy your presence, so we could, in theory, click a land with Fire Puppy presence, but we don't actually have range to anything other than F7, which is already blighting, so I can play more powers. Yeah, we haven't really figured out what we're doing here, did we? I guess we could increase this damage. Two damage kills the town. I guess defense 6 isn't actually good enough, is it? This is 9 damage, this is 8 damage. Defense 6 isn't actually enough. In which case I don't want to do Dire Metamorphosis then. We could just push an Explorer or deal 1 damage. Kind of be nice about the wilds on F4, but we don't have that luxury. I guess no, we do have that luxury, as I can use this defend in F3 instead, or wherever. Maybe that's okay. So I don't need to plus damage. We're not using that. We're not using that. We could use that. We could use that. I could also not play it. I don't think these plays are super meaningful, so maybe I don't use all my plays this turn. I guess you could destroy the town in F1 though, which is okay, and it pushes it to Han. That's okay. All right. In actuality, then putting that there is okay, as I could then add a beasts and then push the explorer out. Okay. I'll put some more beasts on the board. Get rid of this guy. Push this guy, but not into F3. You can just join the party there. It's okay. And then both of these are just gonna be defend 8, right? That's 9, that's 8. Yeah, so defend, defend, defend. Yeah. Can't add more Dahan to those lands though, but at least we saved the Dahan and the Blade. Or the beasts, rather. Sacred sites under threat. Invaders have begun to find hidden places of natural power. You may let the island's strength repulse them or guard them yourself for well or ill. So let the island's strength repulse them. Each sacred site pushes an explorer town to an adjacent land. Remove a blight per player from the blight card, returning it to the box. Or guard them yourself for well or ill. Costs 3 energy per land where you do damage. Aided by fire, we have to spend 9 for all. We currently have 3. And each land with sacred sites and invaders, which is 3 lands, either do 2 damage or destroy a presence from each spirit. We also have Beast's Prowl. Each beast generates 1 fear if invaders are present and moves to an adjacent land if not. And Spirit Seekers solve riddles of power. Each spirit with at least 4 Dahan among its lands gains a minor power. Okay. So we just need to get 6 fire. We could discard 3 fire cards for that. We don't have much energy to spend anyway. We could forget a unique power, maybe. We could forget flash fires or threatening flames. Probably flash fires, honestly. Forgetting a unique power is fine, as that could be regained, even though we did see one event that did do that. We could also forget Mysterious Abductions. It's another 1 damage card, which is lame. Flash Fires is probably better as this 2 energy. We don't have a lot of energy. Alright, so probably, yeah, we're gonna guard yourself, but beasts generate fear if invaders are present, which unfortunately we got rid of the Explorer at F8, otherwise this is gonna be a lot of fear. Well, it's only 2 fear, I guess. 4 beasts on the island, so there's a fear there and a fear there, and then beasts are moving, which is not as good. But at least it's not, we don't have to push it to a land that's blighting, so that's fine. Spirit with 4 Dahan gains minor power. That's not Fire Puppy. And it's somehow not Eyes Watch either, which is interesting. So much for that. Okay. So forget. And then discard. Probably this one. Deal 2 damage. Well, I guess actually we could get fear if we pushed one of these explorers into F8, which is probably good then. As we also get fear off this. Damage there. These 2 Dahan are dealing 4 damage. So they can already kill the city. And then the 2 damage is on... Oh. Wait. I added another land. Wait. Wait. Hold on. That said 12. Did you see that say 12? Energy paid 3. Forget 7. Skip here. Discard. I said 12. Wait. Also, hold on a sec though, because it also didn't give me a choice. Here's the thing though, and I don't know if this event actually is accounting for this, because I'll be honest. There's only 3 lands with Sacred Sites and Invaders, but because damage pushes an invader into a land with Sacred Sites, which resulted in this here, this number should, like, account for that, right? I mean, okay, so let's see what happens if I do this, because I wonder... You believe the list of lands gets set in advance? Then why is this Explorer getting pushed right now? And why is this presence getting destroyed right now? Alright, well that is a bug. And I am on the public build, so I have to go through this. How can we help you? Oh, there we go. Sacred Sites. Okay, also, you can see this. Cool. Sacred Sites under threat is not expecting additional Sacred Site lands with invaders due to invader pushing via Russia. What is that land again? That was F8. F8 did not have an invader, but gained one via Explore pushing. But the energy prompts did not permit me to gain additional fire numbers. I don't know what to call it. Gain additional fire numbers in expectation of that. No, I need to talk to someone. Skip. Yeah, we changed that to help people not overpay, but it's an issue with Russia. Exactly. Okay. There's actually... There is a way to kind of still get this working. Also, this... I probably should have said this 12 popped up. I could only submit one bug. There could only be one active bug at a time. If I could get to 8 energy paid and then forget another card, I can get to 12. I could also just destroy a fire puppy presence, because I actually rather that Explorer be there in F8 so that we get 2 fear off of Beast's Prowl. That seems nice. Probably gets us to Terror level 2 as well. So let's just do the same thing. Even though this is a bug that I can't spend more. And that says 12. But it's not 12, it's actually 9. Let's just do this. Why did that go into F4? I'm confused. I'm confused. Was it just that because I clicked too fast? Alright. So now that goes there. And it's not even letting me destroy a presence now. Okay, now I'm curious. There's still a bug there if it's happening like this, but if I do this land first... Uh-huh. I can't click F8 now. So... Oh, now it's going to F8. Wait. There's still some sort of bug here, as I was expecting C4 to be the thing, but it's going to F8. So yeah, it's possible that it's supposed to only be these 3 lands, but for some reason it's getting confused when F8 is there, but only when it's the last land or something? In which case it's still a bug, because it should not be letting F8 be a thing. Yeah? Yeah? So if I do it this order... Now it's going to this lane. And then it destroyed a present. So what's the intended? What's the intended outcome here? The answer is it depends. Your intention is to yeet this event card into the sun. Alright, well. This is what I expected the outcome to be, given what I had seen. If the intention is that, like, the 3 lands are selected before the rest of the event card reconciles, and that this land should not be an option, even though it creates an option later on. Whatever. I will go with this as it's the most destructive to me, and therefore when I win this game, even if it's an asterisk victory now, you can't say that I cheated to victory. It's more like I won despite the adversarial outcome. Anyway, beasts. Oh, and then this guy... Oh yeah, we were gonna get a fear off of this, except I didn't note that we killed that. But it's okay, we can just move that beast. I could safely go into F3. Depart the dangerous land. Each player moves and explore a town for a land with beasts, disease, or at least 2 Dahan. So I can actually stop this build now? Do I want to stop this build? I guess. The other sands we cannot stop. Honestly, just removing an explorer from a singleton land is probably fine, even though that's not building. Maybe removing it from a land with beasts. Let's remove it from a land with beasts. But it's not a singleton. Whatever. Dahan threatened. Each player adds strife in a land with Dahan. For the rest of the turn, invaders have -1 health per strife to a minimum of 1. So if I add... Oh, that city's dead anyway. I could add 2 strife in a ravaging land so that 1 strife is used up in the ravage, and then that town would have 1 health, so I could kill the town and push the explorer out. But that seems like a massive waste of strife. Here's where strifing a singleton explorer is actually okay then. Like, we're asphyxiating smoke F1, right? Strifing my explorer means I don't need to worry about that ravage. I do have to push the Dahan out, which is said. Also have blood draw splitters. Or no, that Explorer's dying anyway. Although actually no, his strife will be preserved, right? That Explorer's dying to the Blood Draws Predators, which was put in F1 about 15 years ago. But that Explorer is still gonna be pushed away and will keep its strife, so it's okay. So everything's fine. And you can go into F2, I guess. And then these other lands are Blights. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. And then we get coastal lands. That's not an escalation. And now we're actually keeping the Striped Explorer in F1, I guess. We do get a power card. Ha, we have Fire Plant. Any reason they don't click that? Spur On exists. Each invader does -1 damage exists. When Blight is added to target land, it doesn't cascade. That exists. I'm clicking Fire Plant and you can't stop me. Fire Plant has the same number of letters as Fire Puppy. Probably didn't want that on there, actually. Hold on. Because if I'm just going to make Explorer Party in F1, let's not actually... put Dahan there, as I can't defend that land as well. Or something, I don't know. Okay, now what? Sans Ravage. So, Blight, but that's okay. Blight, but that's okay. That's fine. Coastal Explorer. Or Coastal Build, rather. They didn't explore C3. Kind of would be nice to solve the Sans Ravages before they build. I used up all my good defend cards, though. Except they do have a good defend innate. Just keep taking power cards? Keep gaining energy and power cards, I guess? Fire Puppy's next presence puts Blight down. I could grow into C1. Stops that build. If I do let all three of these Ravages go off the island... No, it's 2 Ravages. But if I do grow into C1 and let both of those 2 Ravages go off the island, it does Blight. So is that a concern? There's also the fact that I will probably have my damage dealing innate, and I'm not going into a land that's... I don't have anything in my lands that has Blight, but I could grow into C2 and play all my plant cards and then deal damage per fire I have, which will be a lot. I do have to click this growth option, which means I'm not playing Elusive Ambushes because I won't have energy. But that's probably not an issue. All these cards cost energy. None of these have fire, and none of these have plant. So what am I doing here? Strong constant currents. Guess we could use that to get Dahan in F1 at the expense of not having as many fires. We do have Flame's Fury. I will have 5 fires. Well, 4 if I play Strong Constant Currents. But if I do that, I won't have 3 plants. Okay. Guardian Serpents puts the beasts down. I mean, we're not playing it this turn, but we could play it down the road. Might be helpful for the sands, or for the coastal build next turn. Let's try that then, I guess. Let's go up energy track. Play the plant cards. 5 damage is overkill for C2. We also have Flame's Fury. If I so decide that I would... But I can't play either of those. But if I do decide that I want to... I'd have to backtrack here. If I do decide to do this instead, and I use Flame's Fury and Threatening Flames, I lose the plant, so I'm only dealing 2 damage. Flame's Fury is +1, so it's 3, but I could Threatening Flames that Explorer out of C2, or just Strong Constant Currents, although I want to kind of get... Oh, but I'm not in F1. The idea was I could get Dahan in F1 with this, but I don't have range. It has to be range 0 coastal. The only battle land is C2. I could move Dahan between this land and one other coastal land, but no other way to get Dahan in F1 that way then. So that's just going to be a nope then, because that doesn't work the way I want it to. So that solves C2. I mean, we could click F1 with this. Flame's Fury for +1 damage kills the town, but then there's still an Explorer in there. Oh, but wilds are not present, so it doesn't actually work. Okay. Okay, I guess this is just a Badlands. I guess it's a Badlands. So we're only getting 1 blight off the Ravage. We also remove a singular blight, so that's okay. I guess Firestorm could have gone in F7, but whatever. Can Threatening Flames F7. Do I want more power cards? Do I want to put 2 presents down? Probably just more power cards. Because, I mean, why do I need energy when I get it off of my growth? Defend 4 and a plant and a moon? Destroyed presents? No way. So what does that do? I guess we can easily have defended C6, so I don't really need to worry about that blade. But it would kind of be nice to get F1, a Dahan in F1. We just don't have range there, though. But next turn, maybe? There's a lot of lands we would like to have defended by next turn, but I guess we could perhaps... Oh, but we don't have range with this. This is only range 1 Sacred Site as well. Elusive Ambushes solves C1 maybe? No, not really, but we can pretend like it does. Okay. Guardian Serpents for next turn. So I could maybe defend F2? That seems like a long shot. Do these help at all? Pushing. The works. Gather 3 Dahan. I mean, it's risky, but I'm gonna grow into F2, I think. Do I actually want to go up energy track? Does that plant do anything meaningful? Let's just not go up energy track at all. Well, I guess we did off here, but let's just not do energy track at all, considering I keep saying we don't need energy. I don't need that this turn because we could already defend C6. And I can't hit F1 with it yet. So let's not. I do need to play 2 plant cards and a moon card. Let's play the not moon card, I guess. Get this ready for next turn. I don't know if that's super helpful for next turn, but we could. And then save the defend cards, so we gather 3 to hunt. Okay, cool. The plant did nothing. I guess it slightly did something. I can play Dire Metamorphosis. I misclicked that, honestly, but whatever. Let's roll with it. Defend for... I don't actually have a Sacred Site there. Oh. Oh. I feel like this Sacred Site in F2 is going to be more important than the one in C6. I guess I could have gotten a Sacred Site this turn with this growth option, but I can't go back. I already saw cards. So I can actually just stop this build. Oh, I don't have Sacred Site again. Ugh, what am I doing here? You could put the plus damage on Eyes Watch, because you do have a damage outside of this. That is interesting. Oh, only to lands without my presence, huh? Then I don't really want to do that. I guess I could have done C2. I don't really want to push these guys into F4 when it's wilded or C3 when that's building. So let's just Threatening Flames here. We do kind of lose a fear from pushing that Explorer, but whatever. Range. None of these sands are reachable by me. Cities rise. On each board, and land with most towns replace 2 towns with 2 cities. If there's only 1 town, replace it with city. Beasts chase off homesteaders. On each board, push up to 2 explorers or a town from a land with beasts. Careful defense when invaders ravage. If the land has Dahan, defend 2. Okay. So, F7 is the only choice there. C7 is... or C6. I'll do C7. Beasts. Okay, so we can push this Explorer out. That's fine. I mean, no reason that putting it there is a bad thing. Join the party in C7, I guess. There's no Dahan in C6, but if we can get a Dahan in C6, it will be defended. Panicked by wild beasts, each player adds strife in a land with or adjacent to beasts. Invaders skip their normal explore and build in lands with beasts. Okay, so they're not building F3 now. We could strife everything in C6, and that solves that, but it's just a blight, so it's not that big of a deal. Preparing for the coastal ravages is kind of more important. They're not building here, even though it says it is. So strifing that town makes that easier to defend. Strifing the city makes this easier to defend. Plan for departure. Each player may gather and explore a town into a coastal land. Defend 2 in all coastal lands. Okay. Well, I don't want to gather into the sands because there's no Dahan in there. And they're building coastal, so it's kind of bad to put anything in the coastal. Only reason to do that would be to stop the blight in C6, which I don't really care about. I guess I could gather 2 explorers from C1 into C2 so they don't build C1, and also it's a fire puppy land, so it just becomes fire puppy, you know, things. I could also gather 2 explorers from F2 to F3 so I don't have to defend F3 at all next turn, but that also seems like a waste. So let's just take this, take this. Actually, this is now ravaging, isn't it? Oh, okay. Okay, in that case, I don't do that. Then just don't do that. Just don't do that. Okay. Jungle with escalation. Brandenburg, Prussia adds a town to a land without towns on each board with buildings, which is both boards. So... Jungle Explorer. So putting it in C4 is a bad idea. C7 doesn't have a town in it. Okay. And F8 is Fire Puppy land. It'd be really nice to solve F2 next turn then, so we have to figure that out. We have plus damage. Does this actually kill... Does this do plus damage to Dahan, or is it just plus damage to Explore? It's plus damage to each damage dealing power. F2 is a big issue. Let's put it in F2. Yeah, sure. Okay, they did not kill the Dahan. It does blight the island. So let's think about that for a sec. Let's gather 3 Dahan here, because we absolutely need this land defended next turn anyway. We're gonna Badlands that land, because we're going to assume we can deal with that. Can't put Badlands there. We can remove a blight. Question is, am I just going to accept that the island is getting blighted? Because I could remove a blight with Fire Puppy and then... and then put a presence down with this, and that puts a blight down, but then we don't blight the island. Or we could put this down to stop the F5 build and then blight the island on Fire Puppy's turn. Do we accept that we're doing that? I feel like we're in a somewhat fine position. I don't think we're losing the game. So blighting the island is not terrible. We do have like terrible lands in F6 and C7, but our fear game is really good. We're not losing to the Ravage. Because I assume we're putting a Fire Puppy presence in C1 and then throwing a million defend in F2. This is how much damage right now? 14? Maybe I don't have as much defend as I think I do. Oh, actually... click this first. Click the striped one, because it's okay. Oh, but we're moving the blight first. I don't really want them to build there, do I? This put a wilds down. I could actually just get 1 figure 1 damage if I were to combo Dire Metamorphosis with this, but let's just add a Badlands. because why not? So we're blighting the island with this presence, so we should probably... We don't have a bunch of energy either. I can't play both these powers. I have to click this. Let's just get a bunch of energy and then see what happens. That's not... Oh yeah, no, yeah, we're doing this. Dealing 3 damage. Pushing the Explorer. And then Island Blights. Alright, Blight card is Erosion of Will. Immediately 2 fear per player. Each player destroys one of their presence and loses 1 energy. You know, I shouldn't have gained a 2 energy first if this Blight card exists, but I'm not going to complain. Don't think I need that presence right now. Pushing Dahan. Push any number of Dahan. We're probably just gonna have to kill those 2 explorers anyway. So push into that land. Okay. I have no innate powers. Okay. This needs to be a free power, but I also really need to be able to defend. Do I just reclaim all so I do have that guaranteed defend? The only Ravage is actually, I mean, C1, but I don't actually have, oh, okay. Well, then I don't push the Dahan then. Okay, because I can just elusive ambushes. Okay, got it. But how do I rewind to that? Did I push it before things happened? The answer is no. I feel like I did actually do it before, but it's okay. Oh no, it does the blight first, then pushes the Dahan. Okay, no, it's fine. Okay. Cool. So we can defend this with elusive ambushes. So the only blight target is F2, which is 14 damage. Bearing in mind it's a Badland, so I do need a lot of like defend because it's actually +1 damage to Dahan. I mean, defend for the land is only 13. Defend for the Dahan is 14. Playing my current powers, assuming I have the energy, gets me defend 4 here, defend 4 here, which is 8. That is far less than 14. So I would need to get a defend card off this that's free, or just reclaim all, which is probably better. We did have a defend. Okay. Well, it costs energy, though. I guess if I put a presence down, then I would have gotten a defend 4 off this, but it's okay. This is plant, also fire plant, so that would have been better on fire puppy, but that's okay. There's no moon plant. Honestly, I kind of like Gifted Living Energy. I'm just going to click it. All right, so we need to... Defense 6 isn't enough, but if I were to kind of prioritize that, would that be okay? So if I click this one... Click something... I click a plant card. You get defense 6. Right, but I do need more than that. Get defense 6. We get defend 4 or 8. This needed to be 13, so it's defend 8. So then we get 14 defend, plus 1 damage to Dahan, so it's okay that Dahan don't die. Okay, so that's perfect. We spend 1 energy to do that. We also get 1 fear and damage, so we could actually lower this count by 2. But we'd still need the 8 there. So actually we would rather this be somewhere else, like C4 to prevent the build. And all is good in the world. And how much health is there actually in this land? 3, 5, 6, 12. But we're putting a bunch of defend in there. So putting 2 Dahan in there stops that ravage. I mean, ideally we kill... Yeah, ideally we do something with the town in F3, but whatever. Actually, the Dahan's dealing plus damage, so it's actually 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 damage. 3, 5, 11, 12. Yeah, we'd need 6 Dahan in here. Could be an argument to do 1 damage in F2. We're gonna be at tier level 3. It's probably okay. Actually, no, we can just guard. Oh, but right. I don't need to defend F3. I do want to put a beast down, but. Maybe I let the C4 build go off because the next turn's ravage isn't that big of a deal. So we do 1 damage here, 2 damage here. Oh, I was not accounting for that. Okay, so okay, I did put that there. That's okay, but so this is now 3, 5, 9, 10. I just need 5 Dahan. Okay. And it's also... So I don't actually need to spend energy on here? I don't need to gather that Dahan. Dahan take 1 damage, but yeah, okay. But, also importantly, 3, 5, 9, 10. There's no build here. Okay. The whole reason I'm trying to kill everything in F2 is so that there's no build. So don't gather that Dahan. That Dahan can actually do things. Guardian Serpents in this land to defend against the Explorer now. Okay. We didn't actually get to tier level 3, but there's a chance. Missionaries arrive. They teach and spread lessons of a foreign god. You may ignore their contact with the Dahan or curse the tongues of the foreigners. Cost 4 energy per player, aided by Sun. We have 2 Sun. If we ignore their contact with the Dahan, for each board, discard the top minor power. If it has Sun, push 1 explorer from the land with Dahan. Otherwise, replace the Dahan with Town. After resolving this card, return it to the event deck under the top 2 cards. Obviously, we don't want to do that. Curse the tongues of the foreigners, costs 8 energy, and we have 2 Sun. Each spirit adds disease to a land with city, 2 fear per player. During the next normal ravage, cities do +3 damage. We also have Prey on the Unwary. Each beast destroys an explorer, add a beast to a board without one. That's going to be a lot of fear there. So we don't actually need to get the fear off this. But the cities dealing 3 damage is irrelevant as the only coastal city is strifed. And we could easily discard Sun cards for this. Well, I guess we don't have enough for that. You could forget one of these, I guess. Also, this white card doesn't have an ongoing effect, right? Yeah, it's just an immediately effect. Alright. Let's forget. Let's forget Sear Anger, I guess. Just so I don't have to discard as many cards. Keep the Defend card. Disease to land with City. Stage 2 card next. It's either Wetlands, Mountains, or Sands. Let's put all of our bets on Mountains. I mean, it's not really that helpful if that doesn't build, though, to be fair. Oh my god, I have to do this again. Wetlands might be better than... This is not being explored for one round. I don't know, maybe I'll just put in one of those. I don't know. Just work here, man. So I can't push that Explorer into F2. Because there's only 5 Dahan and only barely enough damage to kill everything. 3, 5, 9, 10. Actually, no, that's not true. Because it's 11 damage from the Dahan. Is it only barely defended, though? Two... Let's see, it's 10. Yeah, so I push that Explorer and it blights, so I can't do that. Okay. The option is F4, which is wilded. I would kind of prefer not to do that. C4, which is already building, so I guess I do that whenever. This strifed guy. Just go into the other Fire Puppy land. No boars with beasts to select. That just means there's something else. Okay, explorers are reluctant. Skip the next normal build explorer, but still reveal a card. Perform the escalation if relevant. Cards shift left as usual. So we still get the escalation, but no explorer. Fear of the Unseen. Each player moves an explorer town from a land with presence or removes a city from a land with sacred site. Well, can't remove this city. These guys are dying-ish. They could remove both explorers from C4, stop that build that way. This is already everything dying except for one explorer that's pushing, and that's fine. We can remove this town. Kind of would rather not to. I'm just gonna remove 2 explorers. Not very good fear cards. Okay. So this town dies. I guess actually we could play an explorer pushing game if we want. Although ultimately I would end up pushing an explorer into a wilded land, but I could do it like this. Oh, but that explorer doesn't actually die, so I don't get the fear. Okay. In that case, it's probably fine for you to stay there, I'll be honest. Okay, mountains with escalation, but they're not actually exploring. So don't put jungles. Jungles is gonna ravage. Fire Puppy land, I guess. Fire Puppy land? We are gonna have to deal with the mountains after all. So there's no ravage. Cool. So we can gather 3 Dahan and prep for maybe defending. Or maybe we just try to get enough fear to win the game. Seems like we're gonna just need to get more fear to win the game. Okay, so we are safe to reclaim all with Fire Puppy. Don't really want to gain a major... This is a majorless game, it seems like. Repeat the lowest cost, blah, blah, blah. It's not fire. There's not many fires. Blight removal? Sure, why not? We're at the part of the game where I'm just clicking cards, I guess. Just keep gaining powers and gaining energy, I guess. So kind of like a free power, but I'm not so lucky. This had fire plant on it. Again, would have been nicer on fire puppy, whatever. Damage per blight though, still fine. Add a beast solar with no blight. There's not really that many lands with no blight. Veil the Night's Hunt for C7 is a thought. Jungle wetlands destroy all explorers. That's not mountains, which is tragic. Also not sands. The wetlands don't have many explorers. Moon plant is not a thing on these cards. Also, we don't have any lands that have multiple blight at the moment, so could just remove the blight from C7 and then we don't need to worry about that cascade. Even if we did even want to worry about it. Click that one, I guess. Okay. So mountain build, these are the only candidates. I already have a Sacred Site range 1 there. I do not have a Sacred Site range 1 here. Let's get in that land, as that Carapace land is range 0 if I do decide to defend that. I'm sure we're going to... Do I want to be in that land? Maybe Fire Puppy is going to grow in there next turn. Yeah, let's not be in that land. I could grow in... if it targets lands with beasts as plus range, maybe we could make that be a thing. Let's grow into F8. We could Fire Metamorphosis to put a beasts in there. We're playing that one. That's not helpful for this turn. I could remove the blight and then add a blight. But also put a Badlands down. That would only be super helpful if I could try to put a Fire Puppy presence in there and not, like, cascade. I mean, it's okay if it cascades. This is range 0, right? Jungle Sands blight removal is not correct, though. Blight removal from C7, and then Dire Metamorphosis in C7, because that will Strife and Badlands and Beasts, all of the good things. That seems fine. Any merit to pushing to explore towns? I can play 4 cards, but I don't want to play 4 cards. I mean, I do get fear off this, maybe, but maybe I want to keep the elements and defense for next turn, so like... I mean, I could play these... but then I won't be able to play my hand next turn. So it's not really doing much anyway. Does give me a plant, which gets me relatively 2 more fear, but... And then what about Fire Puppy? Are you dealing damage? I guess you could deal damage. So play that one. Are we destroying anything in F6? Probably. And then we can target with Beast's effects. Not removing the blight from F6 though. We do remove a singular blight from our land. I currently do not have a sacred site. Oh. True that. We do have a lot of valid targets for Firestorm. If I don't play that and I instead play 2 plant cards, I could target F7 with that and generate Oodles of Fear, probably. Even though it's not really that relevant, but... I guess Threatening Flames is fine. I don't have Sacred Sight for that either, so Gift of Power. I'm only dealing 4 damage, though. It's not Oodles of damage, but it's something. I can play more power cards. I don't want to play those power cards. Okay. Do I want to play Flame's Fury, though? I guess it's okay. Firestorm can go there. I don't really want to Threatening Flames. I guess we could just throw it into F6, whatever. I don't want to throw it into F5. I don't want to throw it into F4, but whatever. Probably gonna win the game before this Ravage even happens. I think I'm just gonna throw that. Oh, I don't have range there. Has to be a land with invaders. Oh, it's not range, it's that I don't have invaders in that land. But I could push the Explorer. Mountain, Jungle, Wilds, though. Do I care about that more? Let's just push this guy out. And then defend here. Okay. Distant Exploration. Sorry, no. Fearful Mobs. When ravaging invaders, do +3 damage per land in lands with 3 or more invaders. Grim Toll on each board, choose land with disease. In that land, 2 damage to invaders and 2 damage to Dahan. Fears me in, 1 fear per land with invaders where Dahan outnumber buildings. Alright, each player... Mimic the Dahan. Each player replaces an Explorer town with Dahan in a land with Dahan or adjacent to 3 or more Dahan. Uh-huh. Call of the Dahan Ways? Neat. Apparently I can't do anything on board F. Tragedy. Honestly, replace Explorers. Normally I'd replace towns, but Explorers deal the same damage. Whatever. All Tales of Savagery. In each land with Dahan, remove 2 Explorers or 1 town. If at least 2 Dahan are present, also remove a city. In each land with Dahan. Are you kidding me right now? Oh. There weren't that many lands. Mountain Jungles. Also adding We're getting the Russia escalation, so add 2 explorers among lands with beasts. A lot of wilds. Okay. Let's just throw this on you because you kind of want another power. Call to guard. Uh-huh. None of these have plant. Some have moon air. Assuming that we win in the fast phase, I'm just gonna click this. Singing Rivers, Dire Metamorphosis. This land is super easy to solve next turn now. Burned land regrows. Do I want to do that land? Do I have like any other valid choice? Not really. Most likely, I'm gonna Cascade Presence for whatever. That Sands is not relevant anyway. Okay, so like this is just gonna happen, right? Yes. We need 8 fear to win. Okay. I need a plant card to trigger my damage, so it's one of these is not getting played, I guess. I guess we could put Sacred Site in F6. That's interesting. Do this and then Guardian Serpents. I don't think that Elusive Ambushes is gonna work. Okay, so let's do this. This triggers things. We do 2 damage and land with Blight. If I choose to instead play this, then I still don't deal enough damage. Okay, so and I am aware I do not have a Sacred Site, but the game should be over before that's relevant, right? So I have a Sacred Site here. I can target it with this. Play all the moon, air, plant cards I have, if I have any. There's air, there's air. Moon. Plant. Okay, so I can get 3 fear and defend 6. I currently don't have a target for asphyxiating smoke. No shit. Guardian Serpents. We're not dealing damage, are we? Somehow we don't have any. Oh no, we do have damage. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Blood Draws Predators. I can't add more Dahan or more beasts there, right? So it's just going to be what it is, and then Firestorm. Do that. This is still not enough to defend. We need 5 more defend. Done. Okay. There's no neighboring Dahan. After invaders are added, remove the target land 1 damage to each added or removed invader. Can we make that happen? Probably not. Could have done that somewhere else, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Whatever. Defend per Dahan is enough for that, right? Don't need to gather. Push a Blight if we still want. 3 fear if we still want. Like, the game's so over. I guess we have to defend this. Okay. We don't need to gather. Blight pushing. There's no Blight being added. Let's just Let's just push a blight back into F8 that we removed it from a previous turn. How about that? How about that? Okay. We need 2 fear to win. Rising interest in the island. How about we just return the top fear cards to the deck box? We don't even need to read the rest of this, right? Don't even need to read the rest of it. We just win. Because victory when revealed. Huzzah! Like I said, I was pretty comfortable that we weren't losing this game. Our fear generation was through the roof, so we were eventually going to get tier level victory or who knows what. The invaders' morale has been broken through sheer terror. They flee the island as quickly as possible. We got 58 points, 10 for victory, 40 for difficulty 8, 6 for the 3 remaining invader cards, 7 for the 14 surviving Dahan, and -5 for the 10 blight on the island. Somehow, we only had 10 blight on the island. But all right, that was Brandenburg Prussia leading, Russia supporting. I'm not sure yet if I want to try to do every unique pair, every distinct pair. That's sort of the same, but I don't know what I was meaning there. Do I consider this as a Brandenburg Prussia Russia like game? Do I consider this as I am now done with Brandenburg Prussia leading and Russia supporting? Or am I just going to keep playing this until I get bored? Probably the latter, but in any case, we have won. And we're going to continue with the pairs of adversaries for the time being as our next challenge of sorts. But yeah, we won. And with that, this stream is over. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your stay. This was Dolphin's Dive. We are here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, generally playing Spirit Island. We played Sentinels last week. That was fun. Blast from the past, as it were. Check out the other stream we have on this channel, Handelabra Live, every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern with John, who likes to demo content before it is publicly available. This past Tuesday, he demoed the deeps aspect of Ocean. So I'm sure that the island steadily got flooded. Be sure to check that out if you don't know what Deep's Ocean does. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed your stay. I'll see you next week. Bye.